So hello guys, what's up? A big welcome to the Manjas Electro Life channel. So today we're going to be building or modeling the top plate, as you guys can be able to see in this Fusion 360. This is what we are going to be modeling today. Yep, so without any further ado, let's get started. So let's come to our drawing here. So I've been able to explain all the features of this sketch in the video that you're going to see in the description. So if you want to understand all that this sketch means and such that you can be able to draw the model by yourself after understanding this, you can actually be able to draw it yourself after understanding my explanation on what all the features that are found on this sketch. So but if you found any challenges, then you can come and refer to this video. And yeah, so let's get started and let's go to Fusion 360 and do whatever I had mentioned in that video. So I'm going to go to Fusion 360, draw a circle of 2.25, then the 1 over 0.87, and I'm going to be extruding them. Then yep, that's basically it. Then I'm going to be chamfering and filleting and creating a borehole on the other surface of this model. So yep, let's get started with this video already. So I'm going to come to Fusion 360. I'm going to create, let's first close this, then I'm going to create a new design. So I'm going to create a new design. I'm going to come to sketch, top, then I'm going to create a circle of a circle over 2. Let's make sure we know. Anyway, can come and edit that later. Okay, a circle over 2.25 diameter. So I'm going to come to dimension, click on my circle, diameter should be 2.25, enter. So we're going to zoom in. Then remember, I'm going to draw another circle inside it of diameter 0.87 on the same plane. So I'm going to draw another circle of diameter 0.87. so someone could choose to do it differently as well. You could choose to extrude this outer circle, then later create another sketch on the top of that, or create another offset plane on the top of that surface. Then you can draw a circle, then extrude, but that would be a lot of work. So that's why I'm just deciding to put all of them on one sketch, then extrude them one by one, and we shall be able to develop the solid body that we want. So let's draw our circle 0.87 millimeters. Come here, click on this. So I'm going to create a circle of dimension 0.87 millimeters, enter. So after I've created that circle of 0.87 millimeters, what else do we need? So I'm going to be extruding this by 0.31, then our inner circle by 0.5. Hope you guys can see that. So let me get on with extruding this. First, what I like to do is hide the dimensions and the constraints that we have. So I'm going to extrude, well, I could first start with extruding this by 0.5, which is one of the things I actually like to do as well. So I'm going to extrude it by 0.5. So right here you can see, but of course you won't see the other circle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to sketch, edit, then edit sketch, then I'm going to come back here, then I'm going to extrude this as well by 0.31. I'm going to extrude it by 0.31. So I'm going to come here, let's view it at an angle. Probably always like viewing things at an angle. So 0.31. So as you can see, right there. So that's, we have already done that. So I'm just going to slide my timeline thing right here, and you shall be able to see the objects that we have created right there. So right after doing this, we see that what we have, all the work that we basically needed to do is already done. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to create a borehole. This, what is being talked about here is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to turn back to the opposite side of my whole thing in order to do that. So I'm going to turn to the behind part right here. Then I'm going to select the face such that I can view it very well. Then one thing I'm going to do is I could easily just use this center point, or I could create an offset plane, which I always like to do and prefer to do, because it has its benefits attached to it, and you should better get used to using it. So I'm just going to select this such that it lies on the surface here. So then I'm going to say okay, then create sketch. So what I'm going to do is, let me roll it back. So what I'm going to do is, I always like my vertical to be the red, then the horizontal to be the green. So after doing this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a hole, since we already have our center point here and our hole lies in the center point. So I'm just going to come, click on this. So one thing you should notice about this is that when I move this up, you see that our hole is facing up, and yet we actually want it to drill down. So what you're going to do is you're going to come here to flip direction, then click on it, and it will flip your whole direction to move down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here. Then we see that the diameter of our through hole is 0.638. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to change the diameter. Remember, it's a counter bore, then yeah, no threads. Then the end point doesn't matter, the drill point, because it can be flat or angled, because it's going to be a through hole. So it's going to be 0. Let's first check for that value again. It's 0.368. That's the diameter of our through hole. The through hole is this part here, 0.368. So we hope it's the one. 0.368. Then the counter bore has a diameter of 0.626. So let's do that. Counter bore has a diameter of 0.626. Then the counter bore has a depth of 0.38. 0.38. So after we are done with this, let's change the view kinda and see what we're trying to say here. So as you can see, our borehole is hanging like it's supposed to be a through hole, as this says right here, 0.36 through hole. So it's hanging on top and it's not coming out. So basically you can input here the height of our part, which is 0.5, or in order to create that hole, or I can make it any distance greater than the distance I've just chosen right now. As you can see, it can create a hole, or I can choose to make it any distance greater than that by just pulling this down. Okay, so I can just click on enter and that will be done. So if you flip this around, you can be able to see that we have created our borehole with a diameter. As you can see, it's moving from up here to down there, and that's where it's ending. And then we can see other features from up here. So now that we are done with everything that needed us to work with our sketch, we're just going to close the sketch features. Let me first exit that. So I'm going to blind all my sketches, then I'm just able to look at my 3D body. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to we still haven't worked on the holes which are on the surface right here. So sorry for that. So let's go back. We're going to activate our last sketch. Not really, or our first, which let me see. Our second sketch was on the bottom right here as well. So let's just create a new sketch. Let's create a new sketch, because our holes are on the surface. We are drilling them from the surface, I would say. So we're drilling our holes from the surface right here, as you guys can see right here. So what we're going to do is, so I'm going to create a circle of 1.5 millimeters. Then I'm going to create points where where I'll be putting these through holes. So I'm going to come to fusion, then I'm going to come to construct offset plane. I'm going to put it on the surface right here, and it's important to see which surface it's actually lying on to ensure that it's lying on the lower surface where the holes are actually going to be. As you can see, it's lying there and not on this upper thing right here. That's also important to notice, by the way. Very, very important. So as you can see, this is where we're going to be putting our holes, and it's very important to know that, so that any distances we're measuring will be measured from this reference surface. Okay, after I've seen that, I'm going to click on OK. Then I'm going to right click, then create sketch. So after doing that, I'm going to create a circle of diameter 1.5. Come here, 1.5 millimeters. I'm going to make it a construction circle, since I don't want it affecting any of my bodies or diagrams I'm drawing. Then we also see that these circles are located at 45 degrees from our axis, that you can see right here. So I'm going to draw the horizontal line, as I always like to do. I'm going to do that, make it a construction line. Then I'm going to draw another line from this point, like so, and it should be at an angle. This is D to measure the angle. D to measure the angle, it should be 45. Enter. So now that we have measured our angle, next thing we're going to do is we're going to position our point, create a point, and I'm going to position it right there. Escape. Let me hide dimensions and constraints. So after I've done that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a circular feature, circular pattern. Come and select on the point. Then I'm going to create points around this circle, and there are 4 points I need to create. Okay, so it has created the 4 points right here. So come to circular pattern, click, select the feature you want to recopy or simulate or like redo. Then select what you're going to be using to put those things. So since I've already done it, here you change the quantity of the holes or the points that you want to make, then you click on OK. So after doing this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a hole. So I'm going to come here, select this, select this, select this, and select this. So I'm going to flip it. As you can see, my holes are facing up, and yet I want them to face down. So I'm going to change this flip direction, so it's going to be facing the other direction. So what I'm going to do is I want to create holes of Actually, for this writing here, the screws we're using, the standard screws we're using, do not match the holes or the holes that are creating, or the features that are creating in millimeters. So that affects us. So we're going to take an assumed value for these holes here, and some of the holes you're going to see in the feature. Then when corrections are made by the lecturer, then we can possibly be able to make adjustments using our timeline and do what needs to be done. But for now, we're going to be using an assumed value. So let's be taking this is the diameter of, it's supposed to be 10, but we're going to be taking 0.1, then 32 as the depth. Hope it's okay with you guys. So I'm going to be taking this diameter. Remember the simple holes, probably, because I'm not saying anything like counter bore or countersink. So I'm just going to be taking this with 0.3, though it's pitched 32 pitch diameter. I'm just going to take a diameter of 0.1, and that is it. So I'm going to take a diameter of 0.1. The height doesn't matter because it's through hole. 0.1, like that. So after I've created that, the rest of the things will be clarified. If there are threads that are supposed to add here, we can just easily add that by editing the feature and changing whatever we need to change on the holes. So for now, we're just going to be going with that. And yes, let's finalize our model by putting the fillets and the chamfer. So our fillet here is 0.12. So let me change that a bit, and let me hide all the sketches. So our fillet right here, F, is 0.12, enter. Okay, so it's 0.12. Then our chamfer is 0.12 as well. So I'm going to come to chamfer right here, click on this. Okay, modify chamfer, which is also 0.12 millimeters. Yep. So we are basically done with everything we need to do in our top plate. So yep, maybe one thing we shall add on is just the color. So with changing color, you basically come to modify, then appearance. I can just click on A, then I come to appearance here, then I'm going to select whichever color I want, then I'm going to put it. So after doing that, we are done with our modeling, and yep, that is all we have for this video. So yeah, that is it. And I believe you've learned something new in this video, and if you've done and enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Beast up.